Guys, thank you so much for showing up today to the Lead Gen Underground. It is always my goal to bring on guests and provide valuable content to you guys where you can rip it off and put it in your business and make more money. So I have on Kristina Kudlock. I met her through Investor Fuel, and she's just an absolute rock star in SEO. So thanks for being here, Kristina. Can you just give us a few seconds about yourself and then, about your business and what you do?
Definitely. Yeah. So I am in the Los Angeles and the Phoenix market. I started my, real estate journey in LA when I had just moved there about 5 years ago. And that's when I started SEO and investing and everything. And in LA, we primarily are just doing wholesaling. And then recently, my husband and I moved back to Phoenix, where we're both originally from. We've been there since Election Day was when we moved back. And now we're working the Phoenix market as well. And we're excited to be here because we'd like to get out of wholesaling and start, buying rentals and probably doing some flips too. So still working in LA and doing wholesaling there, and then trying to open up Phoenix right now and do some other stuff.
That's amazing. I mean, LA and Phoenix, talk about two hard markets to be in, right? Like you couldn't pick more competitive markets, I don't think.
I like a challenge, I guess.
Is that
and the weather?
Oh man, when we were just on Phoenix, the weather was unreal.
I know, but give us a few months, we'll get real hot.
Yeah, definitely. So to segue into SEO as your expertise, did you pick SEO because it was so competitive in LA?
No, I was on a Carrot, doing some sort of Carrot webinar like back in the day, and Trevor said something that like really stuck with me. He was like, SEO is the only lead strategy that actually gets cheaper as you go on. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so that was kind of what initially really grabbed me in. And I knew that it was a long-term strategy and I needed to be doing some other things in the meantime too. But I think as I started to learn more about it, I really did actually enjoy it, and learning it was it was fun for me. So that's why I have stuck with it so long. And I like SEO because it really is I'm very much an introvert, and it gives me an opportunity to like kind of geek out and do just learn it by myself. And I like that. So that's I think my personality, it fits well for.
That's really cool because I love when someone says, one thing and it kind of sticks with you, and you kind of like branch off of that. Trevor said that one thing and set you down this path, right?
Right.
And we obviously met at Investor Fuel, and then you ended up setting my wife down the SEO path as well, and she's called it 2 times. And then that really put us on to PPC, which has been like our best lead channel in the past 6 or 7 months or so. So
yeah,
it's funny that one quote like set off a whole chain of reactions there.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so give us like a high level overview on SEO. I'd like to know essentially, what you do that's a little bit different, and then maybe where some people go wrong.
Okay, so the first things first is just the content on your site. That's there's 2 parts to SEO. It's on page, what your website actually consists of, and then you have off page, and that's like getting into backlinks and all these other kind of elusive terms, but basically it means other websites talking about your site and directing to it. That's kind of how you build authority in Google's mind, is by other websites are talking about you and they're pointing to you. And that's essentially, that's what getting backlinks is about. And the first part of on-page SEO really gets down to having original content. I'm sure most people on here have a Carrot site, and Carrot gives you a great template right out the door for you to have a website up in 5 minutes, but it's a duplicate of what they give everyone else. And so when Google sees this duplicate content, it's just not going to hold as much weight. And one of the things that I've only really even started realizing more recently or learning to do is with the website or with the content on my website, not writing for Google and trying to be like, okay, well, I know I got to put keywords in here so Google knows, and they'll rank me higher. And while that's true, that may rank you higher for a time, it's not going to convert the traffic that's actually on your page, which is the whole point. You could rank number one, but if everyone comes to your website and bounces, it's not, what's the point? You know, it's all about getting the leads. So writing content that really it speaks to your customers and one of the best things to find out about, okay, well, like what are people looking for when they come to your website? What problems are they trying to solve? What questions do they have? And one of the things that I've gotten really good at even recently is like giving an interview to all of my leads that come in. Well, why'd you pick me? And what was it that you typed out to find me? And, you know, why, just drilling them kind of, and that's really helped to guide me into what kind of content needs to be there.
That right there is a super strategy that just flew under the radar. I saw a few people look up and shake their heads, but guys, that was a super gold nugget right there. When you're talking to customers who have converted on your website, Kristina just said that she interviews them and finds out kind of why they came to her website. That's super. Are there any, like, what kind of questions do you ask? Like, how far do you drill down here?
Yeah, so asking about, well, first of all, what did you type to find me? And did you look at other sites? Was there any reason that you picked me over them? And more often than not, it gets down to you have a lot of reviews. And then people like that, I put that we're a family business. I have pictures of me with my family. I have even just pictures of me with customers or, you know, a house we flip, things like that, that show that, hey, this is a real person. It gives you a chance to connect to people connecting with you. Because I get a comment a lot too, like when I answer the phone when they call and they're like, oh, are you the girl on the website? Like, is that really you? And just questions about that. Like they really do look at the pictures and trying to get away from writing like big chunks of paragraph. Like nobody wants to read paragraphs of content. They're trying to connect with you by looking as quickly as possible. And so pictures are a great way. And then really using the like headings for trying to be like attention grabbing kinds of sentences that that are gonna make people just connect with you or want to work with you in some way.
Yeah, that's super right there. So how much time would you say you spend on the on-page content versus off? Like if you just split it?
It's always revolving kind of with me, but definitely more on page content. And that's where most of the work comes in because writing, I don't write all of my content, but I have content writers. But then once you put it on your page, there's a certain degree of editing that goes into it. So you are making sure it's correctly optimized. So that's much more time consuming than getting like backlinks for sure.
You said you have content writers. So this is super serious for you.
I have two content writers.
Two content writers. Okay. So are they just writing new content for your websites on a full-time basis, or what do they do?
Yes. So they write content for my websites and then also for blogs that we post on other websites and articles for that. The reason why I have so much right now for on page, because after you build out a certain amount of pages, it's not necessary to just like, be creating tons of pages every month or anything like that. But all of my website, were written for a different kind of format. And I've since been updating it as I've evolved with my understanding. And I have about 80 city pages that now I'm having to go back and rewrite everything so that they're more optimized.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's a huge job.
It sounds like it. Guys, that's why I love this business. This is like, everyone here has a different skill or a different kind of something that they focus on. Honestly, I've never talked to anyone before in the real estate or wholesaling business who has full-time content writers. And I think that's amazing because it's obviously working for you to convert leads, right? Yeah. In terms of like traffic, how much traffic are you getting to your page or pages now?
I get it. I was looking at my traffic a little bit earlier this week, and I want to say within the last month, I've gotten about 2,000.
That's awesome.
In the 30 days. But you also have to account for like other investors. I'm sure probably even more than half of that is other investors looking at my site.
Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. So when you're spending time on the on-page content, you said they're rewriting like some of your articles now. Once those are established, then is it about the new content that's coming out? Is that like on a weekly basis that you roll stuff out?
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 blog posts that I post every week. So you do still have like the blogs and, but for the most part, it's blogs and then like social media kind of content too. But the blog pick up most of the time. Yeah.
Got it. And with the blogs, are you just trying to answer other like homeowners' questions about working with you, or like how do you go through that? What's the framework, let's say, on the topics and stuff that you use?
Yeah. So one of the best ways to find out about what the blog should be about, I use a service called Ahrefs. It's all things kinds of SEO. And what you can do is you can go and spy on your competitors or spy on competitors in other markets. And there's a filter that you can do to see what are their top pages and what are they getting the most traffic with. And then what you do is filter those, and oftentimes what's bringing them traffic is blog articles. So go and write a blog article about the same of what these popular topics are. And what I usually try to do is write a better article than what was initially on the other one. So yours would rank higher.
That's super cool. So you said it's Ahrefs. That's like an acronym.
Yeah, it's ahrefs.com.
Okay. That is a really cool tip right there.
It's there's so many, you can go down a rabbit hole for countless hours on Ahrefs and you can find other people's backlinks on there too. Like you can go to the #1 person in your market, look at all of their backlinks, filter it so you see which ones are giving them the most juice, and then go after it, get the same kind of backlink as them.
Isn't that really cool? Okay. So when you find something like this, just say you find another competitor who in your case might be creeping up on you and they're getting a lot of traffic out of 1 or 2 things. What's your play on that? Just to write another article and then publish it?
Exactly. So yeah, if you're looking at a competitor that might be coming up on you, you want to see where exactly which pages they're getting the traffic from.
Got it.
And then sometimes it'll be blogs, sometimes it'll be like city pages. And if you see that other people are ranking higher on their city pages than you, then what I usually do is build backlinks to those specific city pages, because those are the ones you're trying to rank, as opposed to oftentimes when people are building backlinks, they do just their homepage and forget about kind of all the other pages. So if you have these other city pages in other markets that your homepage isn't optimized for, then building backlinks to those pages will make it quicker to rank.
Got it. Okay. And so when you're talking city pages, this is kind of like a carrot specific thing, right? There's like your main page, and then you can put any town or city as a sub page.
Yeah, basically it's like your homepage. Usually how I approach SEO is my homepage, I want it to be for the broadest market possible. So like if, for instance, if you're in Maryland, either making your homepage we buy or sell your house fast in Maryland, or if you are more specific to Baltimore, then do that. But even if, like I was talking to actually Bob the other day, and Bob is in Maryland, but his homepage was optimized for Frederickville, something, but it's a much smaller town. So what you want to do, it's all about trying to get the most traffic possible. So optimizing your homepage for the largest location that you go after, right? And then from there, then you're building the city pages, which is essentially almost your homepage duplicated, but instead of for Maryland, it's for Frederickville. And then you have all these other, so you're creating tons of them for all these cities so that you're coming up not just in Baltimore, but
yeah,
range possible.
And so if someone from your city page, if someone is searching, let's just say I'm in, your Frederick, right? And you have this Frederick city page, but your page is Maryland, and I'm searching just sell my house now. Would it come to the Frederick page, or would it take you more to your regular homepage?
that's Google's kind of decision. They serve up whatever they think is going to be most relevant. So sometimes I've even noticed that I'll get leads outside of Southern California, or I'll rank in another place of California, but it's still pulling up my home pages, and it's Los Angeles as opposed to like Sacramento, for instance. And I have a Sacramento page, but if you search from Sacramento, it still pulls up my homepage. So that's kind of up to Google. It's hard to see, to say exactly what Google's going to decide to serve up, but you're just giving yourself more chances with as all the locations as possible.
Got it. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I'm going to start asking a few questions. Drop your questions if you have any, guys. Casey wants to know, what are you doing on a weekly and monthly basis without fail?
Building backlinks for sure. And then blog posts for sure. That's if my website was all done, then it would be blogging, posting to social media, and building backlinks. That's what I would continue to do. With me, with all these editing pages, it's a little bit funky. So that's kind of high priority for me right now. But for most people, it would be building out either blogs, city pages if you need more of those, and then also situational pages. You can do them in the blogs, or you can actually just create a page for it. And just finding, like recently I was realizing that half of my deals are coming from people who, from like kids who are selling their aging parents' home. And so right now, that's what I have a content writer making specifically a page just to or try and collect more people on this specific situation, or like probate would be another great one to go after.
So good. That's really good. That's one thing that I'm targeting a lot right now. I'm working this whole relationship campaign with a bunch of probate lawyers.
Oh, yeah.
These situational pages sound really good. And you can do those in the blog on Carrot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you can create a blog about it, or you can actually create a page about it, and it would be like creating just any other page for your website. Okay. But if you're doing that, you know what you should try to get a link exchange from the probate lawyers too, and have a page, like if you have a probate page on your site and saying, you know, these are some of our partners that we work with, and linking to their site, and then get them to do the same for you too. That would be an excellent backlink.
Woo. Mm-hmm. That's a gold nugget right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I feel like I should be paying you right now. Okay. So you had mentioned social. That's one of the things that you would do with your time. Does social affect your SEO at all?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because because what Google wants is to see other people talking about you, right? So and it's hard to get in our industry. I mean, hey, get cash for your house. Not a lot of people are sharing those kinds of articles, right? So that's why it's really, and I can certainly do better at this, but sharing articles that like, hey, what to do if you're going through a divorce. Probably people wouldn't want to share about a divorce, but home improvement tips for selling your house, or something about what's going on in your market currently and how like the market is hot and all of that, and creating pieces of content like that people would actually like to share is and then when Google sees that your article is being shared all this time, that'll boost it right up.
So write an article, a blog post, and then share it on social is what you're saying to do. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Share everything you post on your blog, share it on to make it a post.
Okay. And when you're creating a post, should that be from your company page, or should that be from your personal page?
I would create it to my company page and then share it from your person, like have you as a person share it to your page.
Oh, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Company. Trying to write down these gold nuggets as we go. Okay. Someone just asked, it was Nick. He said, how do you incorporate YouTube on your website?
So a great way to, and this is a lot of action items that I need to do too, but for sharing on YouTube would be, you could either on your blog, or let's say you have a blog post about a certain subject, also create a little video about it too, of you talking of that same subject and share it within your blog. And that will actually get it so that your blog will rank higher too, because Google loves like pictures. And so when you are blogging, make sure to have pictures, and if you could do video in that too, that's even better.
So let me just make sure I get this straight. When you write an article, then you should make a video kind of talking, not necessarily about that article, but the same kind of topic.
Exactly.
Wow. That's
yeah,
cool.
and then sharing it within it. And I mean, you could also do like, there's this one page I have on my site I call it my like video library or stuff. And it's just a page of like probably 15 different videos I've made that is like talks about a specific subject. So if people just want to go and see if they have questions about any of the topics that I'm discussing, then they could watch little videos about that. But sharing them within the blogs is a great idea.
Okay, awesome. Cristina asks, would you take the same blog and publish it in all your social media, or post it only on your website and then share the link?
I would share the link.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I would share the link with, and then make sure that you have, there's like this little item at the bottom of a blog post that allows you to share the image. So even if, let's say you have an image at the top of your blog, you have to tell the article, the page, the URL for that page to share this as you, because otherwise it's just going to be an ugly link. But if you have this feature set up down at the bottom of the blog where it says for you to share which picture you want to select, then when you share it, it'll be nice and pretty with the picture.
Very cool. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, Casey has a few more questions. These are good ones. What resources do you use to ensure that everything is being done properly, like tags and keyword placement?
So Carrot has a pretty good feature at the bottom. They have like this little SEO checker. I wouldn't take it for like absolute. It kind of, so here's how I do it with tags. I have, for any given page, I have my main keyword. Let's say it's We Buy Houses in Los Angeles. There's 3 places I want to have that keyword. I want to have it somewhere within the hero section. I want to have it as an H1 right below the hero section. And then I want to have it in the first paragraph of content, where that's just paragraph of font. And you want to have it as close to the first paragraph as possible. After that, within the content, I'll have it a few other times, not as a heading. I'll only have it as just content. And then I'll use usually a variation of it somewhere in one of the headings below. So I try to have on any given page, let's say 7 headings. Only one of them should be H1. The rest would be H2 headings. And on the H2 headings, I would also use a variety of keywords like, so if I'm trying to rank for We Buy Houses in Los Angeles, maybe a sub keyword I would use is sell your house fast. And then another one would be get a cash offer. So I'm putting these keywords into the headings, but not in such a way where it just looks like you're using a bunch of keywords all the way down. You really, it takes forever. I'm not going to lie. Like it really does, to try and get it so that you're having a diversification of keywords. You want to rank for what your keyword is, but you don't want one page to just only rank for that one specific phrase, right? You want to get it for a lot of common phrases. So using the headings for that and trying to do like a mix of keywords within the content has been the biggest help for me to get a page to rank for more than one saying.
That's really cool. Guys, she just dropped a few gold nuggets on you there, talking about the keyword placement using one keyword in the 3 sections. and then the 7 headings. That was really good stuff right there.
Mhm.
Okay, Casey also asked about a sweet spot for video length for blogs or testimonials. And that's one thing I wanted to zoom in on is testimonials, because you said basically you asked why people came to you, and their basic answer is that you got a lot of testimonials or reviews. What kind
Mhm.
of reviews are you finding impactful? And is it anything to do with video reviews?
Yeah, so I love to try to be in the video with the person and just like have it be very just conversational. Like, could you tell a little bit about your experience? And having both of us in the shot is great, but most of my deals now all of my deals now pretty much are virtual. So that's been a little bit harder. I have my acquisitions manager who's actually gonna go there and get one with them tomorrow, for one of my deals tomorrow, but also getting videos of, because I get a lot from people who live in another state. And so even just asking them to send me like a quick, just a quick thing talking about your experience. Sometimes I'll guide them and say, could you talk about like this? And then other times it's just like, whatever you can send me is great. And I have, some testimonials that are like 3 minutes long, and then I have another that's like 15 seconds. So, and it depends where you want to use them too, because then sometimes you'll use them in an ad or something. And so it's nice to kind of have a variety so you can clip from stuff and use it where you need to.
Okay, that's really good. You're not getting penalized for any sort of video that's too short or too long or anything like that, though?
On Facebook for a Facebook ad, those ones, if you're using it for Facebook, I would say get something really short, but you could always splice from an interview and then just use that little splice copy. I don't think it's bad to have a longer one too, especially if you're just having it on your site and people can see it's a legit review.
Okay, got it. We're coming down to the back end of the show here. I would like to touch on 2 more things. One, you just kind of alluded to, but a Facebook ad. Are you using Facebook ads or any sort of retargeting to capture that traffic that was on your site?
I literally just started I've done retargeting in the past, and I did it with with other ads as well, where I was just going after like lookalike audiences and stuff like that. And I had really terrible results. But I was having a conversation with a friend the other day and was realizing that no, I'm missing huge opportunity, but not at least just going after the retargeting. So I literally just turned a retargeting campaign on right now. But as far as like just Facebook for ads and trying to find new prospects, that's something I'm not doing right at this moment. I've actually just jumped down a ClickFunnels rabbit hole. So I'll probably turn those on again, but with a new strategy. So
Going down the ClickFunnels rabbit hole?
yeah.
Is that for retargeting traffic?
Not for retargeting. That's for finding for new people who haven't come to your site yet.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's something we ventured onto as well for a lot more of the paid traffic. And what an adventure it is for sure. Just split.
Really? How's your experience been?
Oh man, we were like at the beginning for our PPC traffic, we were so convinced that we needed to build a squeeze page that spoke right to them and kept your eyes front and center on the first fold, right? Just very narrowed and targeted actions. But when we sent it back to our homepage on Carrot, we almost doubled our conversions.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy. That was for our PPC. We did that for about 2 months, where we split tested traffic and we found out that Carrot is converting better. And that's just the general homepage that we're sending to.
I know this isn't about that then. I would love to have a longer conversation with you about that later.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. That's great stuff.
Cool.
Okay, so I want to go into one more matter. Casey just asked, have you always done your own SEO? What's your opinion on hiring an agency and paying $2,000 versus hiring content writers and a VA or 2 to run things?
Love that question. So when I started SEO, I was doing it all myself. And then I got probably somewhere at the bottom of page 1 and was getting busier because my other lead channels were working better. And so that got me busy and took me away from SEO. So I have hired people and paid $2,000 a month. There's some companies I've been happier with than others. Honestly, no one I have glowing recommendations for. So that's kind of why I just decided, I was like, once you start looking at the reports of what they're doing for you, you're like, I can do this. But it depends how much you know, I guess. If you don't know anything about SEO, then maybe hiring someone might be the right thing. I would rather someone just at least learn a little bit so you can understand if they're taking you for a ride, because most SEO companies do. And how do you know to call them out on like, hey, this is shit work, if you don't know yourself, you know?
Absolutely. I love that too, because that's one thing where I've taken seriously. And I think I've had some success in the business because of just in the beginning, I was so broke that I had to start cold calling myself. I couldn't afford to hire anyone. Well, then I became a really good cold caller. And then when I could hire a cold caller, right, I knew exactly what to tell them. When this person says this, say this, don't say this.
Exactly.
Right. So, I mean, becoming an expert in that subject, I think, is so powerful. That's really good stuff right there.
I agree.
Okay. So the last thing I want to touch on is if someone has a new site for Carrot, or they haven't, not necessarily new, but they haven't done anything or little to change up their SEO and to really start to rank, what are one or two things that you think they should get working on right away? And then also, if someone's had a page and they've done some stuff, you know, a year ago and it was passive, what are some things that they should do to take it to the next level?
Okay, so if you're brand new, definitely changing all of the images that Carrot gives you, like the images, if anything else. If you're not going to change all of the content, at least change all of the images. Put images of yourself, of your team, of you and your family, just to give people a chance to connect with you, because I think a lot of us in our markets who we're competing with is like the big iBuyers, right? And they have like a very corporate feel when you go to their site. And so it's kind of a nice content. For some sellers, that is what they're looking for, right? But there's other sellers too that they need that human connection, and being able to see your face and get comfortable with you is probably what's gonna work for most of us to get them to call or to sign. So just adding lots of pictures of you, of your family, all of that, and really just changing the content. I know Carrot says you don't, but you have to change all of the content, and I fully believe that. And if you don't want to do that, like hire somebody on Upwork, because you can find tons of, you know, people that are actually, that know the psychology of writing and could probably do, you know, a better job than than I can, you know. And so just changing the content there is imperative, I would say. And if you're past that point and you've already like got your website dialed in, then the backlinks are really is what's going to move the needle on getting you to rank higher. And the easiest way to go about getting a bunch of backlinks is by doing citations. And citations are basically other websites, or like essentially Facebook, like having a business page on Facebook, that's a backlink. It's a page on another site that is like a little directory for your site, like yellowpages.com, yelp.com. All of these are a way for you to get a backlink. So there's different services you could go to. Yext.com is a good one. Brightlocal.com is a good one. And you just sign up with them. You give them all of your information. You give them your website, your company name, phone number, address. And then what they're going to do is create a directory at like 100 different sites for you. And that's 100 backlinks.
Wow, that's really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cristina, I'm super impressed at the level of like tactical, useful stuff that you just dropped, right? Because it's a lot of people can drop knowledge on, you know, kind of fluffy up in the air stuff, but you just really drop some gold nuggets on stuff that's implementable for everyone on the call. So thank you so much for that. That was really huge help. All right, we are about out of time, but if someone wanted to go follow you, learn more, possibly even hire you, I don't know if you're consulting for other people on their SEO, how do they get in contact with you or follow you, or where do they find you?
Yeah, on Facebook, Kristina Kudlock. I'm the only one, so you can find me on Facebook. You can email me, Cristina at mrspropertysolutions.com. Feel free to check out my website. I'll link it down here.
I love the unique name too.
You know what? Half of me has some regrets about that, because I'm like, well, what if you get like some macho dude who's like, want Mrs. Property Solutions? Like, I wish I went for something a little more gender neutral, but
You know what? I personally love it because if someone says, you know, they're macho and they don't want to work with you because you're a woman, then fuck them, honestly.
yeah.
Right?
True.
I mean, seriously, if they don't want to work with you because you're a woman, then fuck them.
Yeah.
But I love it. So Cristina, thank you so much for everything today. That was a super, super episode. And I know people are going to get a lot of value out of that, a lot of content that you can actually go take and rip off and put into your own business. So really, really thank you. I'm so glad that we met at Fuel, and I definitely look forward to our next connection for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was fun. I'm always jumping at an opportunity to geek out on SEO. So
Do you have a YouTube channel yet?
yeah, I have a YouTube. It's just Mrs. Property. Oh, for like, it's just YouTube to find sellers. You mean YouTube for SEO?
You have to have a channel for SEO. You have to like be the authority in there. Because seriously, I don't know anyone else besides Trevor that talks about SEO, like not in our space. So I think that's definitely a vertical you should take and run with.
Yeah, you know, I've worked on a few people's sites. I think that's Nick Shira.
Yep.
Yeah, I've worked on Nick Shira's site, on Michael Pinter's site, and I'm actually in talks with a friend. He's in Washington, and he's an SEO geek too. So I think we're gonna start something. So
please do. You're holding back on the world if you don't.
Thanks. I will.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Cristina, thank you so much. We did just start the Lead Gen Underground page on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, go give us a follow there. I'm pushing out some short clips of videos and helpful content as always. And if you found it useful, invite some people to the group on Facebook as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Cristina, thank you again. And I look forward to connecting next time.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Take care, guys. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.